Today's gameplay review of Heat, Engine Inferno. So we're just going to review another game of Heat, Pedal to the Metal, that I thought was interesting. It's a game where I was stuck with Heat, most of it, in my hand, and it was just struggling to get through that initial long straightaway every time with a bunch of heat that I couldn't get rid of. So let's go ahead and review this. Right. So we're on Italia. Sorry about that. And there's no slipstream is the weather condition, but it's not affecting us because there's none of the tokens. So all we have is an extra slipstream here. This long section, an extra boost here, and a decrease in speed around this last corner. So looking here, I really want something for the straightaways. There's nothing really good, and I'm going second here, so this is really the round where I need to do that. I need to have the long or high movement cards, and I'm not getting wings. That's ridiculous for a straightaway card. So let's go ahead and go through the draft here. Right off the bat, Stelto takes the gas pedal, which is probably the best card I've seen out here for this race. I take the air intake because I didn't see much better. So I was hoping maybe to cool down, around here, in these little sections here, but QQat. I've also took an air intake. Now, it's always good to get slipstream. So, Loco Amy took slipstream and the -1 tires. I've never really been a fan of the tires that give you negative speed. So, because then you got to work around them. I just take a body because there's really nothing there, and it does have a slipstream on it. Delta takes the wings. So I look at this, I'm like, it's not that great of a selection of cards here. So I mean, suspension maybe. There's a couple gas pedals. Those are probably the best things out here. Maybe this cooling system 4. Loco Amy takes the cooling system 6. Q takes the suspension. I think I take the cooling system. No, I take the gas pedal. I should have took the cooling system there. As it turns out, it probably was a better move for me. I took the cooling system and the gas pedal 4. I take the fuel with the boost on it because it does have a cooldown. I think I discarded though. Who knew the problems I was going to have in this race, in advance. So let's just see how it goes here. Yeah, I put the fuel back. I should have kept it. So I'm 11 away from the corner. I just play the 4 and the 3 and then boost, I think is what I did. Maybe I didn't need to, because I could slipstream here. Okay. Amy decides to go 9 for some reason. It's like, I've been seeing this a lot. Maybe it's because I'm playing with different people, but people doing these weird, let's go like 12 spaces around this corner and spend all of our heat on right off the bat. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just see if I can keep up with them. I'm not going to be lagging behind. Because I didn't spend any heat the first lap, so I had plenty of extra heat in my engine. Or so I thought. Oh, everybody's doing it. Poor Stelto only goes 3, and Adrenaline's. They're smart. They're conserving their heat. I, on the other hand, decided to fall into this trap here. And now, since I can't trust this player, Yellow, I think I'd do a 3 here, just to be safe. Yep. I should have did the air intake right there, right? Then I could have got a heat back from my engine. But I wasn't thinking. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking at the time. But I should have definitely played this. Oh, I couldn't because Green decided to block me. Once again, these weird movements like that people are doing here, like let's just sit here, like right past the line. People want to get through here. They're not going to just stop because you stop there, right? Like, I can understand sometimes wanting to be next to somebody to slipstream like later on, but I think this is a terrible decision on many accounts, because all you're doing is allowing other people to slipstream you now instead of later, right? And you're not any closer to this corner, so what was the whole purpose of this, right? Now watch. Stelto moves 7. They won't slipstream this time, but if we were all bunched up here, right, then we're all going to get past this. You know, you can't block the road off. So I spend 2 heat to get around this corner. It's probably a terrible decision. But I think I did get a heat back out of my engine here, didn't I? Yeah, I super cooled a heat. Now my thoughts were, I have 2 heat in my engine, so I can downshift if I want to. So why don't I go faster here on the straightaway? I don't know if the smart thing would have been to like stay in second gear for a turn and get rid of this heat. But I guess doing smart things in this race was not my forte in the first lap here, so I decided to upshift in the third, I think is what I do. Let's see here. Yep. And I only go 8, so staying in second would have been a better idea. So I get 3 heat here. It's not ideal at all. That big move here at the beginning, where did it get them, right? Nowhere. Because all you've done is elicit a reaction, right? So that's why yellow's not like, oh, I went 9 here, or whatever they went. And now I'm like so far ahead of everybody. No, that's not how it works. So this is what hurts here. Like, these are the cards I have to play. Like, I'm only gonna be able to go 5, then maybe boost, right? And then maybe gas pedal. It's not ideal. So everybody's gonna catch up with me, obviously. Yep, look at this, see? Already caught up with me. There's nothing I can do. I'm definitely getting past next turn, obviously. I mean, I get a 2 for my boost. And I saved the 3 because I was to the point where I was concerned I might not have cards to play, you know? The worst thing you can do is not crash, but the worst thing you do is not have enough cards to play based on what gear you're in. So I can now downshift in the second gear. I'll get the cool down the heat. Stelto has that gas pedal, so they're able to get up in the first here. So yeah, that's something you need to keep in mind. Like, you always have to have the ability to play a card, right? If you don't, you just waste a turn. Your card's going to be not moving at all, and that's the worst thing you can do in this game, is not move. I mean, even moving a few spaces is better than moving no spaces, right? So this is even better because Loco passed me. I'm now in 4th. So going down in a second is going to let me cool off 2 heat, which will finally clear up some space in my hand. Problem is I'm not getting through this corner, obviously, this turn, so. The worst thing I can do is pull a 1 right now. But it's not as bad as you would think. So, because I have my gas pedal, which I will use. And I can use adrenaline and slipstream. I'm still in it here. Okay, so I am definitely going to burn a heat through this corner because I can't slow down anymore. I guess I could have played a 4 and then boosted, but that's pretty dangerous. So I'd rather just pay the 2-3 here. Because even if I'm spending heat, as long as I can cycle heat out of my hand is all I care about right now. Perfect move. Just happened to be right next to green, so I could slipstream up the blue. Alright. Now would be the best time to go down into first gear, because I have a 2 here. See if I'm smart enough to do that, or was I still trying to push it here in the second lap? I did just play the 2, which is the smart move. Stelto plays a stress card. Their hand situation must have been pretty terrible, so in order to do that, it's not like if this thing would stop for 2 seconds. They cooled down at all, right? So it wasn't a matter of cooling down, it was a matter of they didn't have good cards in their hand to play. So they might have had a stress and some higher cards and decided just to try the stress card to get through, you know? The problem with that is if you don't have your deck counted out properly, you could have had a 1. So it could be pretty bad for you. So it looks like my heat's back under control. Which is only temporary. Because I want to get through this corner. So I go 5, right? So luckily for me, Q only goes there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can then slipstream and pay 3 heat here. So I'm back to 2 heat. Now I'll discard all my 1s on the other side of this corner, because they're not obviously not helpful when you're trying to go down this straightaway here. So it cost me 3 heat because of the speed limit, right? Then I draw this. I'm like, okay, well, that should be all right. Forgetting what I had in my deck, it wasn't great. So Plus I was about ready to flip over. So all those heat I just spent are going back into my deck. So not a bad movement here. Very confident this time, so I just spend a gas pedal and then I draw this. All this heat. I drew 2 heat, 2 1s, and a 3. So we're back where we started, but this time I think it gets worse. So I have to go into 3rd gear. There's no way I can stay in 4th gear at this point. Just because I need to get to a point where if I'm desperate, I can cool down some heat, right? By going into 2nd gear, which kind of happens. I paid my last heat here just to get a little bit further along. So I can only move 3 and then boost. But this air intake really saved me here because I'm going to be able to get a heat out of my engine and cool down the heat here. 2 heat. She got stuck down here, so that's why they're so far behind. Unfortunately, everybody used them to slipstream through the corner. That's the worst feeling on this track, is if you're the only one stuck here, you know. But there's not much you can do about it, because what are you going to do? That's a good thing about the super cool is you get to see what's in your discard. Unfortunately, I knew it was in my discard because every card was in my discard. Then I boost and get a 1. And even though I cooled down, I still have 4 heat in my hand, so Delta would definitely want to get through this corner, so they're just going to use their gas pedal to get up to the line. So there's no way I can slipstream these guys, right? Because they're so far ahead. So my goal is just to get here. I think I just play 2 cards here. Oh, I forgot. Q actually slipstreams me here, I think. Which, hey, I'll take that every day. So now I have a chance to slipstream through the corner, because Q doesn't have that much heat to play with. So, I mean, they might go 6 or they might go 5. So I'm just going to boost in 3 and hope I don't get a 4 here. I mean, either way, I'll have the heat to cool it down, because I'll drop 2 into my engine here in a second. Ben Loco could only go 3 spaces, so I'm like, this is great. I could just go 5 What do I get? I get a 3, so I go 6. That's fine. It's just 1 over. I cool down 2. Get the slipstream. So I'm starting to get some decent cards. I'm getting rid of the heat again. I'm going to go 7 to get to the corner. And Stelto does get through it. Barely. But they've spent all their heat, so... Q's right next to me. Delta goes here to get in position to get that corner. I go 4. Simply because I have the heat to do it, right? And I'd rather spend the heat here and here, right? That way I'm in a position to, because I have these, right? Come up now, which is great because I can go into 4th gear, right? Or 3rd gear and then go into 4th without spending a heat. So that was my goal. I didn't get to spend much time in 4th gear this whole race. If I can get into 4th gear on this last straightaway and stay there with some decent cards in my hand, I feel like I could win the race, you know? The only problem I have is that I'll be shuffling, so I'll at least know 2 of my 4s are out of my hand right now. Which is why I'm saying I should have maybe kept that fuel, right? Which I could have been using on the straightaways to cool down and get cards back into my deck. So the advantage I have now is Stelto went in the 1st gear. So the highest gear they can get into is obviously 3rd, right? So that's going to cost them a heat. They could boost, but so can I. So I'll be a 4th gear and boosting here. I have all my 4s plus my gas pedal. So like I said, on all these tracks, you definitely want to just come out of this last corner with some chance to win. I mean, my chance is to get as far as I can. So, you know, stress, 3 4s. I draw a 2. Could have been worse, obviously, because there are some 1s in my deck. Then I gas pedal to get as close as I can. Save the boost for the last turn here. And I get a pretty decent hand here. So, I mean, this is not bad at all for me spending all my 4s last turn, right? Stelto's keeping right up with me with his gas pedal. So he boosted. He uses gas pedal. I have 10, so I'm going to cross the line. I'm going to boost, get a 3, so it's probably the best I could do. Just enough speed to win the game. Because I was really worried about that gas pedal stealth they used multiple times during this game. So it's like, I just got to get just enough. So when I seen him at the 10, I was like, oh no, like, can he catch up with me? So I think some of the things you have to think about here is like, this is a long race, right? This 3-lap race. You can't be doing stuff like going 9 around this corner on the first lap because you think that's a fancy maneuver. Like, I don't see any reason to ever do that. Like, I mean, if you got like a concern about like how fast you were going, maybe they were in 3rd gear and they couldn't play anything less, but still, that's, if you're in 3rd gear, downshift, right? Instead of spending 4 heat, right? Downshift, play a 4, and see what happens there, because I'll probably zip by you, right? Because I'm planning on going 5. And then, you know, a few people will slipstream me, but yeah, but doing these crazy maneuvers right off the bat. My problem is I fell into the trap of I need to keep up with them, you know. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I mean, look, Stelto didn't do that, right? And they ended up in 2nd place, so maybe it would have been a more smoother race for me, but so that's the end of the review, and until next time, just keep on playing. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. You know, leave comments if you have any other suggestions on this game or other games you'd like to see on this channel. There's also a playlist on the left side of the screen that you can click to see other videos I have made. And until next time, keep on playing.